Okay, I'll introduce you. This is BB8, I'm AJ Hamilton.
And I'm Jay Salahi.
And this is Cinema Sesh.
And we saw the most anticipated movie of the year.
That's right. The 9th Star Wars movie, the 8th in the saga, and the 2nd in the sequel trilogy, The Last Jedi. But The Last Jedi.
Yes, The Last Jedi.
What did it feel like coming out?
Oh my goodness.
Of the theater?
Well, I mean, this was obviously my most anticipated movie of the year.
Of course.
My most anticipated movie since The Force Awakens.
Naturally. 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Jesus.
I've been talking it up. I've been saying there's no way possible. There's no way humanly possible. The worst this movie could be is Rogue One. I said there's no way. It's the worst it can be. It's the worst B. It's going to be at worst a B+, probably, an A-, probably an A. And I've got to be honest, I was just slightly disappointed in this movie. I saw it 2 times to make sure of it. Overall, it was, and it wasn't about fan theories or anything about that.
Right.
I could, we're obviously talking about spoilers here. Snoke dies. Okay.
Sure.
Luke Skywalker dies. Okay. Leia uses the Force and stuff like that. Those things are fine for me.
Sure.
But the way things were done, I wasn't quite a fan. And so basically, they pushed the mythology of the Force a little bit too far for me.
Okay.
Into my believability, it went into the superhero range, and I just don't think it had the nice progression that we saw in the other Star Wars movies, where each one we get a little bit more. And then structure and pacing wise, I also thought this was the clunkiest Star Wars movie.
Okay.
In terms of the storyline with the 3 stories intercutting, I thought it was the poorest of the Star Wars movies doing that. I didn't really buy into the plot line itself with the 18-hour plot line and stuff, which we'll go into later.
Right. Yeah.
But what did you think walking out the first time?
Well, walking out, it didn't live up to my expectations of how far they were going to take the story and the darkness. But there were enough moments in it that caught me up and made me feel something. It took me on a ride. It really did. But there were, like you said, some clunky parts. I don't know. I don't know where to start tearing this movie apart because there's so much to tear apart, sadly.
But let's just jump right into the story right off the bat. The movie opens. You get that Lucasfilm.
Beautiful.
A long time ago, the galaxy far,
the
far
cheers.
Away. And oh man, I was getting ready to cry.
Yep.
I was ready. And then Star Wars. Oh my goodness. And the crawl came. And I thought it was a good crawl. It
was a solid crawl.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, it did beat my expectation. In the expectation in the beginning, when I read that, I thought we were getting okay, that's the opening setup. This is going to be the first 25 minutes, 20 minutes. It's Hoth. We got to get off of the thing.
Sure.
And then that ended up being kind of the plot of the movie.
The escape.
Yeah, the escape.
Yeah.
But jumping off the bat, right into that, it kind of goes straight into the Poe scene.
The bombers, bringing him in, and
the Dreadnought, I believe it's called, the
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought,
yeah. Spooky.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A lot of super weapons still going on. It's not quite the Death Star, but we got a Dreadnought, and we got this later in the movie on Crait.
It's
like, this is a mini Death Star cannon.
I don't think they have an idea of how to up the threat. Of the rebellion, or not the rebellion.
This is a minor thing, and this isn't bringing down the thing in the movie. This is just an observation. It's Star Wars. We're going to be going into everything here. But that was interesting because, again, I was hoping we didn't get any of that. Because Force Awakens, I love Force Awakens. I'm a big Force Awakens fan. But let's be real, Starkiller Base is one too far. When I saw the poster, even I was like, oh, come on. Oh, we got to do this again.
Seriously?
But, I mean, I get it. It was a soft reboot. I'll give it to it. But, this one, Empire doesn't have a super weapon.
Right.
So I was hoping we weren't going to get something super creative and out there, and we got two medium-sized weapons. Then you see Poe. Yeah. And what bothered me there was this is where the humor really, really oversteps it for me. Okay. And it's a minor thing, it seems, but in the Force, people are saying it's very in Poe's character to make a joke and do that. He does it in the Force Awakens.
Well, and it reminded me a little bit of in A New Hope with Han Solo, and him
in the room
talking, and he's like, I'm sorry. What I don't even remember what he says.
He's
but
like, "How are you?
How are you?" Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We're all fine.
And it definitely had that sense.
Yeah.
But being on hold and like, I'll wait.
It was too modern.
It was way too modern.
My issue is not even the joke, more or less, of how it's represented. And like in The Force Awakens, and I still, every time I see it, I kind of, there's some moments Force Awakens goes a little too cheesy and over the top and big.
I agree.
But you know, the moment with Poe, I still don't know how I feel exactly about it. I like it, half am still.
It made me giggle. It absolutely did.
But in The Force Awakens, that moment when Poe says, "Who talks first? I talk first. You talk first." What's great about that moment is you see who Poe is as a character, but it makes Kylo Ren a stronger villain because Kylo Ren ignores him. It sees right
completely
through him.
serious.
Yes, and he knows he's lying. You know, he knows he's putting up a show, and he just kills the villagers and takes him prisoner. And that scene, that joke actually makes Kylo Ren look like a badder villain.
Yes.
You know, it sells him as stronger as a villain.
Yeah.
And then in this scene, you have this extended joke, which is already maybe a little much off the bat, but it's okay because maybe that's the tone of the movie's going for, so that could be fine. But it's in doing so, it devalues Hux, because in the first one, people can say, yes, Hux, he's over the top, and maybe he's too big, and but he was menacing nonetheless to a certain extent, and you could see how he could be in charge of everybody besides Kylo. And this movie, it's like the rest, they make him a joke, so I don't believe in his second in command.
And it takes him being flustered by it.
Yes.
Allows his undercuts his superiority. In fact, you know who I wanted to see more of was his second in command, who was saying like, "Hey, he's fucking with you."
Yeah.
I really liked that guy felt like an original person from the Empire.
In general, all of the people they thought we cast, the Dreadnought guy, he was great too.
He was awesome.
All of the people, in general, so far in the movies, I think they've done a pretty good job at casting Star Warsian feeling people.
Agreed.
And even jumping ahead to like, I'm gonna go back, but like to Rose, for example.
Okay.
You know, she's got that great Star Wars.
So
the way she speaks, the rhythm of her voice, and same with in general Oscar Isaac.
Yep.
He has that great '70s kind of flair and you know, coolness to him that he like, and suave that he kind of brings off.
Sure.
But so that scene goes on. This is my other problem with it. Is we go from maybe, I think we can agree, which could be fine, the most jokiest of joke moment in the movie, or like telling a joke maybe in Star Wars or the new Star Wars. And then we go right from that to maybe the most dramatic looking shot and like slow motion stuff done in the movie. It's like Rogue One ending as seriousness. So you go from like the most comedic stuff in the film, and then you tonally switch to something Rogue One serious, and it's like there's a reason Rogue One didn't have jokes that serious, that funny, and then have that tone, because it would have felt off, and it already feels off here, because then we go straight from that to the Finn waking up, which again could work, but it just felt like we were going up and down way too much.
I really want to talk about the death of Paige, the Rose's sister. That was, to me, that was the first time that I felt emotional. For in this movie, because yes, the slow motion stuff, but they really they planned it out. No, but they planned it out in a way that was the last hope of that attack, and it was, you know, the cutting and the pacing. I really
enjoyed. The space shots look great. That one they show in the trailers of like the bombers and
oh my god,
going, it was great.
It was at the level of the dogfight in Rogue One, but it wasn't as long, and it really didn't. It was completely undercut, like you say. Immediately when he lands, you see Finn get up, and Finn, I want to get clear, was slashed in the back. And I know that they've repaired people in general, like maybe they gave him a robotic spine or something like that, but to have him get up and be a walking punchline immetimately,
well, this is the thing,
right out of that moment, is so disappointing to me.
This is actually maybe my bigger issue in the film too. I didn't even really bring up is the timeline thing bothers me, because I think that whole thing is like, it's supposed to have been a little bit, because Rey has enough time. Like, this can't be right after Rey leaves. I'm assuming Rey leaves. They've, you know, a couple days or something goes by, and then they get out. But this is what I'm confused about. There's 3 storylines they have, right?
Yes.
And you know, Rey's story, technically, until she makes the decision to leave Luke, almost.
Yes.
You almost, like, that almost has to take place before every other point in the story would have to start.
Yeah.
You know, and then on top of that, later on, they put a timeline on it, which I'm not a big fan of. They say this is 18 hours left to go.
Yeah.
But this is where the problem comes in. They say there's 18 hours left, and then they send Finn and Rose on a mission. Now, I forget exactly. It's either the scene before or the scene right after they leave. Either way, it's right when Finn and Rose go, because it doesn't start 18 hours. A couple scenes go by, and then they say 18 hours.
They say... Well, when Finn and Rose, well, maybe it's a different point, but I thought that was like 6 hours.
No, that's later.
Left.
So they say 18 hours, right? Then they go on their mission.
Yeah.
Then about 10, 15 minutes go by. They go to Canto Bight, right? And they go exploring or whatever. They go on. They find him. They get thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, before they even meet Benicio del Toro, we hear 6 hours left. So that means that it took them 12 hours to get to Canto Bight, just look around, get captured.
Yeah.
And then in 6 hours, they get Benicio del Toro. He breaks them out, but yet he doesn't they don't follow them. They go on a complete side adventure, which we'll get into later. And then they get back up with Benicio del Toro. Then they have to go to the Snoke ship. They have to take over people, dress up, get captured. It just seems like it's a lot more to do in 6 hours than 18 hours. And I don't know why you're putting these restrictions on you. And I've heard people say, well, it's like the Dunkirk thing, or they're taking place at different times. And you know what? You have to explain that. The nice thing about all the movies, and the problem for me is the Star Wars movies, especially Empire, is almost. I think if you listen to this show at all, if you're one of the 10 people, I bring up Empire Strikes Back maybe every single podcast.
I would
about
say
a blockbuster.
so. Yeah, that would be a theme.
Yeah, and I talk about how the structure and the pacing is just like the perfect example of like how to do it in intercutting.
Sure.
And I know when Luke is training with Yoda, they're inside the asteroids, or when they're here, they're there. And this, I don't know exactly where they are, so the stakes can't quite build. It starts to work in the end of the second act when the timelines start meshing.
Of course.
But before that, until the end of the second act, when they all start meeting at the same location, it's really rough in the cut.
Well, and the weirdest thing is, here's my frustration with that. The 2 times, or maybe it's 3 times, that Rey and Kylo are melded by Snoke, means that we don't. Then those scenes were out of time with the other stuff, doesn't it?
What the scenes with
the scenes with Rey and Kylo seeing each other?
Yes, exactly.
So that is out of time for the rest of it. So Kylo's scenes aren't happening at the same time the other like the Canto Bight and the stuff on the ship are happening.
At least that's what it feels like. Exactly. It's not it's really clearly explained.
No, I mean, I didn't as much question it as when I was watching it, but sitting here now, you've absolutely got my ire up, and I'm really angry at it.
Well, it wasn't just that; it was a combination of things. It was like it was too jokey. There was that, but also, and this is another thing. And I can get yelled. You can say these are all nitpicks, but they really do kind of just didn't feel organically right. The whole thing about there's 8 Star Wars movies before this.
Sure.
And if you add them all up, I've maybe seen them 500 times, maybe more. I mean, I had the VHSs as a kid, 3 years old, watch them every single day.
Knowing you, I mean, you got
for 20 years
the Stormtrooper pants on.
Yes,
I believe
do.
it. Yeah.
And never in any of those movies or any space movie in general, actually, do I ever get like the sense that like, oh, they're just some loophole with like your shield staying up for 18 hours. That like I've never seen that either. Buy that. And if it was one of them, like if they choose to do that plot and I do the time thing, maybe I buy into it.
Sure.
But it's like both of those things that I just don't quite. It's a small thing. Maybe you go with it. But it felt so plotty to me.
The timeline with the fact that they were just far enough out of range.
I don't get it. They've seen them blow up so many ships in the past so easy in this.
You know what it felt
like?
Every
movie they were like, oh, there's 25% left of the shield, or one more hit, we have to do it, or our shields are done, what are we going to do? Like,
it absolutely felt like an animated movie or an animated TV show where that was the ticking clock.
Yeah.
That was a very easy thing that people could work around, and then it would be forgotten the next episode. These are episodes, but they are supposed to be
saga.
It's a saga, and it's supposed to add to the lore.
Yeah, it's the grandest of the grandest stories.
And you're absolutely right. Somebody else.
They went on adventures because remember, going back to Star Wars and Empire, they referenced in the beginning with that bounty hunter I ran into on blah blah blah. Really changed my mind. And it's like, oh, they went on adventures. They've hung out. They've been fighting for the rebellion for months. Yes. So it's like there's adventures you haven't seen. That's what makes like even Indiana Jones so great, right?
The extended universe.
The extended universe.
Yes.
Like when in Temple of Doom, when the beginning. When the guy, Indy, I go first, Indy, into the light, or whatever.
Yeah.
You get the idea that, like, oh, or even the girl, like it's the girl, not to say bad, the girl of the week, right? It's like this is one of 80 adventures Indiana Jones goes on.
Of course,
If this was a TV series, the movies are only 3 of his 80 adventures. He hasn't
been on the 4 adventures. That's not what makes Indy. It's that he has been doing that for his entire adult life. Yeah. There's the Indy adventures.
So it just kind of, and that's okay. I can't be mad at them trying to make a movie that's a Rex
sequel. Different structure. And I appreciate that they tried to get out of the main thing.
Well, we've talked about that before, the 35-minute rule, right? Where I said that real quick, like in Empire Strikes Back, they get off Hoth 35 minutes in. In Return of the Jedi, they get off Tatooine 35 minutes in. In Force Awakens, they get off Jakku 35 minutes in. Or 35 to 37.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, maybe.
Maybe.
But they pushed it. And I really think that Rian Johnson...
Yes, who I love. I love Ryan.
I mean,
local boy. I'm from Irvine. He's from Mission Viejo.
Dude,
I've talked to this guy before. I asked him a question. I asked him a question at a film festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I love him. I've actually looked up to this guy for a long time because since I was younger, because Brick blew my mind.
I love his body of work. Brick was awesome. The Brothers Bloom. Nobody talks about that.
That's the movie I saw.
I absolutely love that movie. It's planned out meticulously, and I love it. The reveal with the brown blood or the red blood. Kills me every time I see it. He also did a couple episodes of Breaking Bad.
The best episodes of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I agree. Ozymandias, fucking awesome.
Amazing.
But he did
Looper,
some things.
Of course.
And Looper. Oh my God, yeah. Well, let's not forget that. But I will say, he did a couple of things in this movie. I thought that he was gonna go further with a lot of the things that he attempted, and then he also tried to sort of break a lot of things in the Star Wars universe. And let's go through chronologically, but it was sort of, I wanted him to go one way or the other. Either stay with the lore
and change all the pacing,
change everything or fuck the lore but make a like really fuck it. Like I honestly wanted Rey to turn to the dark side. I wanted somehow Luke to be way worse than he was.
Yeah, he's kind of in between.
He's very in between, and I wanted him to switch sides. I wanted something to happen in that way.
So I mean, we're gonna jump around, but that's two other things, like and the Luke thing, which we'll talk about. I guess we'll go into, but I don't think he makes what's the arc at the end? For me personally, it's like Obi-Wan. He's an old man, but he goes on the adventure. He's just on the tractor beam. He does all these things. And Luke, he gets the message from Yoda, and he reads and he gets the thing from R2 to go, to help in this. And then at the end, he's not even willing to leave his house to save the day. Which I get why they would want to do that, but for me, it's
the limitations that they put on him, I guess.
But it's like it just seems like you're not really coming full into the fight. It's like you're sending money when you could really show up. It's like, and I know he's distracting them, but it just doesn't feel like a full arc if you're not willing to get off your ass. Like as simple as that. Like
it apparently took a lot of strength to do that.
No, of course.
But that again goes against what are the rules of the Force.
Yes.
And why wouldn't more people do this?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, it's because he's like the most powerful and he's the only one who can do it. I get that.
Yes, he's
but
the
they're
chosen
setting
one.
up that everyone else can be that powerful soon. But here's back to this. The lore thing is my issue.
Yeah.
They kind of break the mold a lot. So Leia, we'll talk about Leia flying.
Sure.
I know she's not flying. She's using the Force. And people are like, it's the same thing as moving something with your hand. Theoretically, yes, I get that. But seeing a character like Leia, who we all want to see use the Force,
absolutely,
use the Force the first time in a way that visually. And is something we've never seen, not even visually, but it was something we've never seen anyone do, no matter how powerful, besides Yoda, like hovering, right? Technically, I guess.
But even that, we've never seen anybody put a force bubble around themselves in the freezing cold of space.
Yeah.
We've never seen that.
That is true.
Because apparently she did that by instinct.
And it kind of kills it, because now I'm seeing, and this is people are like, oh, you're jumping the shark here, but with this, and with the Luke teleporting, and them seeing each other, and doing all these things, again, one of them, cool, but all of them together feels too much, and I feel like, guess where Star Wars is going to go? I'm scared that it's going to be like, guess what?
Superheroes.
We had lightning go out of someone's hands. Why not fire?
Oh, sure.
Why not
yeah,
water?
Of course.
You know, it's like, why don't we have a great idea? So in the next lightsaber battle, my new Star Wars, they have a lightsaber battle, but they're floating like Superman and Zod fighting, but with lightsabers. Oh my God, that's an amazing idea. Like I see it now, and I fucking hate it.
It's
and I'm
limitless.
Scared. I'm scared for my children.
Yeah.
I'm scared. They're gonna grow up in a world. They're like, Daddy, can we see isn't the new Star Wars great? I'm like,
right?
No.
Okay,
No,
it's
maybe
not.
I'm overstepping myself.
But I will agree. It's the realism, the weird realism that this stuff could actually exist. That we could have a floating is not out of, because that's will.
Yeah.
Lifting things is will. Even electricity for some reason seems natural, because there is something within us that is electric, that is the neurons firing and shit like that.
I like that interesting idea. But here's the thing is all about, it's the same thing. It's about filmmaking, right?
Okay.
So in the first Star Wars, what do we see? The Force doesn't do that much. We don't see that much. We see Vader choke somebody. Yep. They have lightsabers.
They don't even push.
We don't see a Force ghost, but he speaks to somebody.
Yes.
Right? And we see that maybe it trusts his emotions or something like that. Right?
Right.
There's not too
just
much
enhanced.
visuals. It's enhanced, and he makes the shot with it.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a big visual thing.
Right.
Now, in the Empire Strikes Back, in the very opening moment, you see, not the very opening moment, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He grabs the lightsaber from the snow and the music, but at the slow build, you see him close eyes. Like, what the fuck is he doing? The hand, you see it wiggling. You're like, you're buying into it as it goes.
And we've seen it tons of times since.
But that was the
that's
first
what
time.
you build on.
But there was only a 3 feet, and it was something we haven't seen, but you believed it. It was a small step forward. But guess what? If in Star Wars we saw Obi-Wan move something with his hand, or we saw lightning, or we saw him grab a lightsaber come to him like that, it would be too much, and the audience I don't think would have bought it. I don't think Star Wars would have became the highest grossing movie ever.
Yeah.
I think it's about the small introductions. And then in the third movie, it's because we've built up to the Emperor. We don't even see him. We don't even know about him in the first movie. We hear him in the background.
Sure.
Second one, we see her, now him, once. And then, giving us talking about it. But again, the presence is there.
Well, and
the third movie, we build up to that, and it's the strongest person in the galaxy.
It's the subtlety. It's the ability to put it in without it being so much of a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Like
you shouldn't have to think about it. You should just buy it right away. So The Force Awakens, I think every single person alive, like the fact we even talk about this is why I think it's an issue.
Okay.
And I know that it shouldn't necessarily, you're like, oh, it's good. It's different. And you want it to be different, but you want everyone to buy it. Because like in The Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren stops that blaster,
oh my God,
I don't think there's a single person in the theater who goes, I don't think you could do that with the Force.
Right.
And maybe there is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I never heard anyone say that. But I've heard a lot of people say this Leia thing.
I think it was very much like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, but it seems like something you could believe.
Yeah.
You could freeze people. You can choke people.
Sure.
You can, so it's like, and it shows how powerful he is.
Yes.
But that's really the only Force power they pushed. There was no other extension of the Force power besides that. And it was just enough for you to buy and get into. And you want to push it a bit more, I'm down.
Yeah.
And if they want to build up to the whole movie to being Luke being able to do that, okay. But having Leia do this and all the other things kind of happen in between.
And the connection of Kylo and
Again, if it was just that would have been fine because it's like an extension
it's
the mental connection
that Luke and Leia have always had, stuff like that.
And I want to say a positive on the thing.
Please.
I loved that the moment where Kylo Ren and Leia are like seeing each other, and he's gonna blow. Should he blow her up or not blow her up?
Yes.
They use the fades they use in Empire Strikes Back when it's Vader, my father.
Oh,
son, the same style fade. A modern movie, they would never do that today. They would just
absolutely.
cut. But they kept the classic fade.
They did a couple of different swipes and fades.
I love and fades, but that fade
that.
back and forth between the two people is the moment.
That was another one of those moments after Paige was killed, is that I was thinking if they had caught it early enough, I was like, well, that's it for her. That we're going to see her float off, and this is the beautiful angelic shot of her, and that's the way we say goodbye to our princess.
I thought she was gonna die, but then I remember there was a shot in Crait where she's got the fucking the cover thing over her face, like half mouth, cool design thing.
Of course.
But I think it would have been better if she maybe, and it's the same thing with Luke throwing over the shoulder, and this is actually something I don't usually never bring up other people's things I hear, but because I usually record this before we listen to like a bunch of other things, but I actually listen to like the Collider people's thing, and Christian Harloff, the guy who runs this Jedi Council, had two good points that I actually completely agreed with was that it would have been better for him if Leia had, he liked the movie more, but if Leia had gotten caught under something like Spider-Man Homecoming and maybe had to lift something off of her, he would have bought that more. And I was like, I can agree with that. And he also said that instead of Luke tossing it over his shoulder, if Luke puts it down. So it's like, you know, it not only plays as like a surprise, like a giggle maybe at first because it's a fuck you giggle.
Right.
But it's also a dramatic hit. Like a second later, it hits you dramatically. Like that is just a gag. But if you put it down, it's like a chuckle into like a, oh, you hold on the shot of the lightsaber, not with Porgs, but like just there for 2 extra seconds. And it's like, oh, wow. You know?
Exactly.
You kind of, it's a little bit more reserved.
Well,
it's a personal thing.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that, I could tell, like, even the couple of tonally weird things that we talked about in the beginning weren't enough to take me out of the movie. But when I saw that, I was like, they're burning the goddamn thing down. They're
That's a far statement, but yeah, okay.
But they're looking to say a lot of fuck yous to the audience.
Well, you know, Rian Johnson said that it was I couldn't imagine what Luke said. It's the only reaction he could have, and I agree with that. I like the idea of Luke not saying something, but again, the way it was done, tonally, the way it was handled,
What's next in the whole thing?
Okay, so
should we go back to Finn and Rose? Or?
Yeah, so let's talk about the split up. So the plot is divided in 3. So let's just talk about Finn and Rose's storyline first, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think everyone mostly agrees, and people like the movie. It's maybe the weakest of the storylines.
I would agree.
And it sucks because I do like both characters quite a bit, and I do like the idea of like a casino planet, and I like Canto Bight as a name, but it just it felt out of place in the storyline they were going, because I just also, we're talking about the 18-hour thing. I just don't buy it. It's a Star Wars thing. I like to think it's a 5-6 hour, no matter what it is. We don't really see the traveling too much in the movies, because why would you do that?
Yes.
But they're more linear. So in this one, with the timeline going in that, it's like, I don't want to believe it. It shrinks the universe for me. Like, wait, there's this rich planet, which I'm assuming wouldn't want to be in the middle of all the violence or something, that maybe it's on a, I don't know anything about Star Wars galaxies, but you know, it's a safe planet. I don't know about
galaxies in general.
Yeah. No, I don't either. Now, you know, the only galaxy I can name is the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Sorry, everybody who's yelling at me right now that I'm an idiot.
Andromeda, probably. Go ahead.
But it doesn't. I don't buy that they can go there and back in the time. As we kind of mentioned earlier, it seems way too compartmentalized, and it feels, when they go there, it feels like a classic Star Wars structure. Like, we're at a planet, we're going in, we're exploring, we're doing a thing. But with the time constraints, it didn't feel right, because you're cutting back between this overly serious thing and then this kind of lighthearted, a little too on the nose. Like, I'm gonna say something here. Like, I'm a little, I live in California, so that probably should tell you something. So I'm not like against maybe what they're saying, the social commentary of it, but it did feel a little heavy-handed for Star Wars, and I get they want to gray the area, and that's the whole point. Right. But what makes the mythology so great, in something like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Harry Potter even, is that such the big dichotomy between the black good and white. Evil. Yeah. And you want to gray it up, that's fine. Sure. And it wasn't necessarily the way it was done, but I guess it was because we were there and at Canto Bight, and I didn't care about that set piece. It felt like it was a tacked on subplot that, in all honesty, doesn't have much to do with the other two storylines whatsoever.
Have a payoff
and it doesn't have payoff because they don't succeed. No. Which was a cool idea, like everyone's failing, but I don't know.
And they're failing at so that other people can be rich. Yeah.
But here's my other issue with Canto Bight. Well, besides the fact that I got to be honest, those llama camel horses were the ugliest things ever. I was not a fan of them at all. Neither. And I
look like big old gremlin horses.
I really don't understand. I don't get the point, what they're doing in this movie. Like the point of it. So like they go there to get a code breaker.
Right.
And then they see Justin Theroux as the guy, the code breaker. And it was a little wasted. Maybe a little too convenient for me. Whatever, small thing. But then they eventually get captured, right? Yeah. Actually, going back, the opening shot of the casino going over all the tables. That's a wing shot. That's actually a reference to the 1920s movie. Anyways, it's a famous shot in Wings. They go over the tables, passing champagne and stuff. Nice. So that was cool.
Oh, yes, I have seen that. It's a beautiful shot. Yes,
you know, they get captured. They need a code breaker, and then Benicio del Toro, they don't trust him. That's the whole thing. Right. But then he does the gag where he opens the door and gets out,
as everyone in Star Wars can do.
Of course, but I think I don't understand why. I mean, they say they didn't trust him. I thought plot wise it makes sense. They just follow him. Like, like you couldn't find him, you couldn't get to the other guy, but he let you out. I guess they wanted to get back to Justin Theroux, and that's fine. But he goes left with BB8, and then they go right. Okay, and then this is what I'm confused about, because they're going back to their ship, and then it gets blown, and then they free the animals, and they end up miles, and I mean miles away from the casino or
no
any
one
code
could
breaker.
Know that. Yeah.
And they're on a timeline. This is the timeline problem. You have 18 hours. You say you got 6 hours left.
I mean, I know that they're running and they can't really control the animals.
No, but the time is ticking.
Oh, I know.
And they're ending up miles and miles away, and they're like, oh well, like they were just gonna give up on the whole thing.
Yeah, they were going towards their ship, right?
Yeah, but then the ship got blown up.
Ship got blown up.
And then they kept running. They were on a hillside, and they were giving some speech like, "If this is how it ends, whatever." Like, what the fuck are you talking?
What was their end game?
Yeah, what were you trying to do? It makes no sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Well, they were. I mean, it does play to the fact that they were very inexperienced, and they weren't the ones. If they were the ones to do that, then it should have been Poe, or it should have been somebody way more capable than what is Finn on the he's a janitor.
He was a janitor.
He was a janitor and a repair girl. Yes, they may be wonderfully talented and very nice, and also
they're heroes. They gotta send them on.
They're
the
heroes, absolutely. But also, they walk into a casino with the highest security probably, and like these people dressed in, how did they not think that they were going to be
sneaking around?
There was no sneaking around. There was no like they didn't get close to Justin Theroux, and they didn't get kicked out early enough. Like, I've been to casinos in Las Vegas. If you try to go near the high rollers table, they'll bring the guys in who the guys with the dark sunglasses. They will say, no, you look like you have $10.
Two more things there. I just like some of the creatures didn't look Star Warsy exactly. I've heard some other people say this, and I kind of agree with that. I was feeling that too when I watched it, like the little goblin creature. It's a small thing, but
it's just like a little Harry Potter-esque. I would agree with that. I mean, there's infinite amount of creatures that could possibly be in the universe, but I would agree it doesn't feel like Maz Kanata's place where that you also, what a weird side character to bring back in, that they Maz Kanata, that one little tiny thing that was like, wait, just because you know her, she's going to have the solution that you need. I mean, it's way too convenient. A lot of it's way too convenient. She's got a cell phone, and then I heard the fact that they were put into DJ's Benicio del Toro's cell, and he is a hacker, or he's not, and he's just a jackass.
That's movie coincidence, I'll give him that, but it's on top of everything else.
But you work harder for it.
Yeah,
then.
The Maz shit really bothered me. This is I've already gotten yelled at for this from my friends. But listen, I'm sorry. The Maz shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
That scene is a filler scene. It does. I hate it. It's like it's a video game type of thing.
Right. Exactly.
And it's I don't like Maz talking about getting laid and like she's shooting and she has a cell phone. All right, whatever. But and this is where I'm gonna go. I don't give a fuck. She says she can use the Force. She's got some form of Force power. She's like knows the Force. In the deleted scene, she moves some shit in the Force. Sure. She's jumping around shooting shit. She's active in battle.
Yeah.
Yet she's over 1,000 years old.
Sure.
Which means she's older than Yoda. I have, it's call it a nitpick, a gripe. It's a gripe. Even if I gave the movie an A, I would have been like, I don't really like that. Maz is older than Yoda, and that's spry.
Fair enough.
It takes me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Side note, also, shouldn't she be talking to Finn? Because she knows Finn in the last movie, and they have that. And also, in general,
Finn... she knew Solo.
Yeah. She knew Poe, I guess, from back then in the day.
Maybe
not.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if they talked about Finn. But
yeah.
Also, Finn's storyline seems very repetitive, because in the first one it was like it starts with him leaving, like he's abandoning being a stormtrooper.
He is
he's trying to escape, and he doesn't want to fight.
Well,
he wants to run, but at the end he wants to fight for Rey. He's fighting to fight for her, and then at the end of this one he's looking for Rey still. But he wakes up and the first thing he's doing again is. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same, more or less.
I think a problem with this movie is that there isn't a lot of growth in most characters.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, everybody sort of ends up more or less back to where they were.
Yeah.
They question themselves and then they go back more resolute than ever. Yeah. It's not like they are in a different place than before. Rey is... just as she had more character development in Force Awakens because she was being taken from one place to the other. In this, she was sort of trained and she got into the mind of the dark side, and then she rejected it, and she's back to being part of the rebellion.
So we'll go back to the Finn plotline in the second act later.
Okay,
let's jump on the Rey and Luke thing. Let's start on that. So they go there, they have their whole interaction. Okay, the creatures there, I enjoy. I gotta be honest. Before the movie came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this movie, and I'm gonna hate the porgs. Gotta say, I love me some porgs. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're cute. I mean, I don't necessarily like love. They're cute. They're cuddly. I want one though.
They didn't distract.
No, they
weren't an Ewok where they were part of the movie.
Hey, I like the Ewoks.
I
don't love it. I know what you're talking about.
That shows how young you are. No, I'm kidding.
But it does. When you grow up, I watched that since I was 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, But Empire's always my favorite.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying that they weren't central to a storyline.
Nothing revolves around them.
Exactly.
They're just another creature. But I like the marine life creatures. They got the big seal, elephant seal type of thing.
With green milk.
The green milk.
And the
caretaker people.
The caretaker, the
love
nurses.
Them.
Yeah.
I like them. And all the practicalness of all of those things. Loved it. And that felt Star Wars to me, all those creatures.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed his hermitness. Luke's hermit.
Yeah.
Hermitness. Like qualities.
You know what I don't like about it though, and this is not skipping it, but another gripe, but like I don't, it's Luke Skywalker. He's Luke Skywalker. He's the most powerful. He's the last Jedi alive, or was last, not anymore, but he was last Jedi. I get that Kylo and him like had that clash in the tent or in the pueblo in the little clay hut.
Yeah.
I don't like to believe that Luke Skywalker got taken out by like some bricks falling on him. Like it's like, oh, bricks fell on me. I woke up 6 hours later. My students were dead and my thing was burned down. It's like, you're fucking Luke Skywalker, you little bitch. I'm sorry. It pissed me off because later he's doing the same thing. He easily makes them all, fly away. So it's like, you should be, if you can make something fly away, you should be able to take the hit. I don't know.
Now, he can't be taken out that easily. But yeah, so you didn't like his personality portrayal? What did you?
I didn't like the arc thing. I felt like his arc wasn't complete. I didn't like that he got knocked out, and I didn't like. And the more it comes down to like Rey, and again comparing everything to Empire Strikes Back is like, I didn't think Rey's Mary Sue in Force Awakens. It's fine. It's a hero story. But now I kind of am thinking she's a Mary. She doesn't learn anything.
No.
Like and
barely. He says he's going to give her 3 lessons.
Yeah.
And I don't think she gets 3 lessons.
3 lessons, and also it's like really. I felt like, and I know it's maybe the same amount of screen time. She actually gets more screen time with Luke than Luke and Yoda do. But I felt like Luke learned more lessons. Yeah. And I, as an audience member, was like felt like he was learning more lessons.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like Rey's kind of just such in a rush and kind of just not really quite respectful. And she doesn't grow to love, like Luke grows to love Obi-Wan. Yes. I don't feel like Rey, even if it's a short time, you believe it, but I don't feel. Or Yoda, I don't feel that. Even Han Solo, she lives to love Han Solo in 2 scenes.
Oh my God, yeah,
and you feel it. But I don't necessarily quite feel that, and maybe that's what they were going for. But that was weird. And then they were trying to do the Luke thing with with Yoda leaving too soon, right? You're not making the wise decision, right? But Luke fucking loses. Yeah, he gets his arm cut off. My whole actually, I'm fast forwarding another thing. The best scene in the movie probably is the throne room scene. I think most people can agree.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
but this is the other big flaw, major flaw for me in this movie. At no point in any of the Star Wars movies, I don't think, and in Empire Strikes Back, is there a point where you just cut around something that could have easily ended the whole series or the whole trilogy and movie at that point. It's just poorly written. It's like, so she and Kylo have a force off after Snoke dies. Right? Yeah. And then it goes white or whatever, black. I don't remember what happens.
Sure.
It blows up, breaks in half.
Yeah.
And then we see Kylo like waking up. The Hux there's the Hux joke. That joke was funny. I thought that was funny. But it's like she got up and left. Yeah. So that if just hear me out. So technically, yeah, we should. If she would have just killed Kylo Ren there when he was sleeping, because by getting up first, she wins. So she won again. She won the first movie. Yeah. She wins in this movie. She's right about everything. She would have just killed Kylo Ren there. They're not. Are they still getting? I mean, does
she's
Crait,
worse than Luke.
No, hold on. But does Crait really happen? And is there even a third? Is there even a third movie? So it just seems like a plot they skipped over. And if it's fine, you don't want him to kill her because that makes sense. Because why would she kill him?
Because she is better. She's rising above him.
If she wakes up, let's see that decision. Let's see her like get up, realize she can kill him, and then say, like realize she can't. And that at that fault is why like maybe the third act has to happen. But another complaint I have: Chewie and them drop her off very close.
By the way, where was Chewie? Chewie ate the porg And then
he threw the porg out.
He didn't. He was going to eat it, and then he piloted the ship.
He's hanging out on the ship.
God, I wanted there to be a little bit more.
It would have been cool, but you know, at the Chewie drops her off on the pod really close. Like you see the ship, right? I'm not right. You see the pod, and you see Snoke's ship in the same shot, correct? I think it's like the pod to Snoke's ship. Like they're in the space area of Snoke's ship.
Yeah.
So Chewie's right hanging out. He's right there by.
Yeah, of course.
So she gets up before Kylo, steals a ship.
Right.
Already has stolen the ship. She's probably already at Chewie or close to Chewie.
Yeah.
How the fuck does she end up not getting to the battle until after Kylo Ren wakes up, gets there, gets the whole perfect straight line of AT-8, you know, at whatever, I don't know what they call it. They're super
ATM-6 or something?
No, they're AT-ATs, but now they have a new name. Too many names now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the giant AT-ATs. But you notice there's like one small AT-AT in the middle of the pack.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, oh, sad face.
So, that's the little bot.
But, you know, it's like, how does that happen? And then she just shows up for convenient, and they forget about her. She's gone for 20 minutes. Like the third act of the movie has no relevance to Rey. It's like, here's Finn, here's Poe, here's the other people. Where's Rey? And then she's like in a gunner. Ooh, a gunner.
Deus Ex Machina. That was her coming
Luke
in.
Of the series.
Why couldn't she have come in and like strafe the guys a little bit sooner? She knew where they were going. She knew where they were firing. She knew, you know, she could. There's one planet around.
She does less than Lando does in Vampire, and she's the fucking main character.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then she lifts some rocks,
which I hate. You know why they don't show her lifting the rocks? Because it would have looked awful. And it's a small thing. I like the intercutting with the last. No,
lifting the rocks.
No, they don't. They cut around it. It shows her like, the rocks, her face, Luke talking about it, reaction shots.
Okay.
And then you fucking cut back to it. Rocks already lifted. There's no moment of lift. Because we wouldn't have bought it. But I also just don't buy the power level thing because she didn't learn a lesson. She's just so powerful. She can do everything.
And I could understand her lifting single rocks.
Yeah, 2 rocks at a time.
But there is literally no struggle with her. She is just super powered now. She's
lifting as much stuff as Yoda could do. Like that's the most stuff we've seen anybody lift.
And I thought
it can't be the most we've ever
seen.
Maybe
maybe they're pushing through.
In the second movie, Luke's moving one rock,
lifting. What if she was lifting one rock at a time? Also, perfectly round rocks.
On the side of a mountain, that felt odd.
Yeah, right.
Round boulders. I'm sure that's a true thing. I'm sure they're probably real rocks or even there in that location.
That's
and
fine.
we're completely proven wrong. But it fell off.
It did. Yeah, it felt very proppy.
It did.
You know,
it's like,
and
it also felt like maybe this is not the plot movie, but I'm like, am I watching Dinosaur, the Disney animated movie? Like, we're stuck in the cave. We gotta get out.
Also, was that like an open area and then was blasted shut? Because why would there be rocks over a
that's what I was wondering.
What they try?
I'm assuming.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever. And why was it so hard to find the exit?
First of all, who was in charge of the rebels when they built a base with only one fire exit?
Yeah, right.
You know what? You know who is in charge of this? I mean, is it the first? Maybe I see why they want to beat the First Order, but do you want the rebels in charge?
Yeah,
they can't even manage one base. How are they supposed to oversee and provide safety and peace to the galaxy if they can't even make sure there's enough fucking fire exits in a location?
It doesn't seem like it was. It does seem like it was just made to like be a last stand.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
that there should be exits. There should be. I know it's been abandoned for a while and whatever, but
we're getting too far in.
Oh my god. There's just so many things.
Just like how in Return of the Jedi, all those contractors died. They talk about in Clerks. It's my favorite thing. It's true.
Yeah.
It's a true statement. A lot of innocent people got killed.
Many people lived on that place.
Yeah.
Like they probably had dorms. They probably had
they had an internship program.
Yeah, exactly.
They know they did.
They had an education program.
Yeah.
There were people who were supposed to be working on the laser, and
people taken from their homes, just stripped from villages.
Oh yeah.
People given no choice.
Slaves. I mean, look at Cass. No. Who was Jin's father?
Galen.
Thank you.
Galen Erso.
Galen Erso. If I would have gotten the last name, I would have gotten it. But I so wanted, and we were talking about. I think that Luke would have had a bigger arc if, and I know that he built his door out of part of the X-wing, but when they showed the X-wing,
you wanted to see it rise.
I didn't even need to see it rise. I needed to see him flying in on it. I know that it would have been really hard for him to find
that would have
and
been fan
get
servicey,
to,
but yeah,
you know.
I feel you.
But when they showed it there, I was like, that is such a shout out to it being buried in Dagobah.
Yeah.
You know, or sunk in Dagobah, and him lifting it out. That was one of the things that he had to go through.
He couldn't do.
That he couldn't do, and then he could do it. Maybe, who knows? You know, that I would have loved to see that parallel. But again, they kind of threw the parallels out. Also, I want to get. We have been dancing around it, but when, all right, Snoke, nobody apparently.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'll wait till the next movie to be fully harsh on it.
That's fine,
let's dive into it.
But I want to talk about the fact that he was such a placeholder character. There was no feeling of he shows up twice as a hologram in Force Awakens. We get this maybe 3 times. Yeah. He's a mysterious bad figure. All right, that's fine. Then he shows up twice maybe in this one. He has been he's been a puppet master, but we still don't know why he is there. We don't understand how he came to power. He can be a stranger. He can be a guy who came from a different galaxy who is like, hey, I'm gonna take over for First Order. Why is he in charge of the First Order?
See, this is my slight issue. And again, it's not a fan servicey thing. I'm okay with Snoke dying. I'm okay with him being I'm okay with these things.
It's fine.
But the
Set
issue
him up
is
better.
By killing him this way,
Yeah.
you actually cement him. You said everyone says he's a pointless character in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Well, this was your opportunity to not make him a pointless character.
Exactly.
You've solidified that he's a pointless character, and what this does is because it makes The Force Awakens a worse movie.
Yes.
In the sense of what the one thing I did want, I don't care about the Rey's parents or anything. I thought she was but I don't care about.
That's
fine.
fine.
That's just fine.
That's a great
I did want to
switch.
know. I need to know because the one thing Luke saved the fucking world.
Yes.
He saved the Galaxy Jedi. I know it wasn't everything, but he killed the Emperor. We get the idea that it's all happily ever after, and maybe it was until Kylo came back.
Yes.
But I needed just the slightest, even if it was a hint, a mystery, a line.
Yeah.
Just one line of something that I can dive into as a fan.
Sure.
And build a backstory, so at least I can understand where he came from.
That's the thing.
I have no clue.
We know
how that even came to power.
So yes, we have the prequels, but fuck the prequels. There was a sense
I don't hate them as much. I accept them.
It's
fine.
They're enjoyable I accept
watch.
them as canon, and that's fine. I'm probably not going to go back to them as often.
I watch them once a year. Still, I enjoy them. I'm going to watch them again too. I got to be honest.
That's fair.
I've warmed up recently to them quite a bit.
But I don't even know why I brought them up. But my point was, even without the prequels, 4, 5, and 6 have a sense of history. Right?
Oh, of course. That's what makes them so great. That's people who were mad about the prequels. And that's why I love Star Wars so much, is because they give the perfect amount of information in each film.
And the odd thing about Force Awakens and this movie is it almost... there's been 30 years of history, and it doesn't feel like it.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, you agree.
Force Awakens felt like it because Luke has disappeared. There's that. There's
yes,
Snoke.
there are.
But we needed to learn more. There's hints.
That's what I'm saying. In this movie, we don't get any more sense. There's no more fleshing out of the story. Whatever it is, these
the world
can be
feel bigger.
Whatever the stories are, even if they're completely new stories. I love that. Give us new stories in this thing. Give us new characters, like Laura Dern's character, which we haven't even mentioned. Give us Rose. Give us all of these new things. Even DJ. Damn it, I wish there was more Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
That felt like a complete waste. But what I wanted it to be is that we get a little bit of inkling of how Snoke's rose to power. He can be a completely new character. Explain why.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be a mystery. I need it to be a history.
Ooh! Dropping beats as usual.
There you go.
I like that.
So that's my rant.
Say that one more time for me. I need to hear it again.
Oh, man. I don't need it to be a mystery. I need it to be history. Something to that effect. I think I said it.
Deep, dog. I agree with you there. But I want to jump, before I go back in the story, I want to talk about one just solid positive in the movie in general.
Yes.
And that, of course, is... And it's different than the JJ's, but it's still a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
And the technical aspects in terms of amazing visual effects overall, amazing sound design, sound mixing. John Williams does a great score again, as usual.
Beautiful. Emotionally, the
cinematography.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Amazing lighting.
Yeah.
The lighting looks so great. That film. I mean, those close-ups when they were, on the rebel ships, and you got Leia, and you got 3PO there. It just felt right.
Yeah, of course.
And there was a lot of color depth and stuff. And it did remind me, he said he was shooting it like not like Empire Story necessarily, which it is similar to Empire, actually. More than people think. It's very similar to Empire story-wise.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
But I thought it looked beautiful, the lighting-wise, and I was really impressed. There's a little less linking shot. It's not quite as overall as energetic as JJ, but that's JJ's thing.
Sure.
JJ
yeah, of course.
That pace, that structure, that quick,
and he knows how to shoot in space.
And he knows how to shoot in space because he's done it quite a times before.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree, and I don't want to. I don't want to shit on this movie.
It's some more interesting stuff to talk about.
There were some. Okay, so what did we think about? We jump back into Snoke's.
All right.
So he manipulated them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was a good enough emotional catalyst to have Kylo Ren kill him?
I like Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren's mad for multiple. I think it's the confused thing of like he's mad because he made him kill his father, even though he was supposed to kill his father. There's still this deep anger inside.
Sure.
Because of that, because he listened to him, but because he listened to him, and then in doing so realized that he is more powerful than that, and so on and so forth. So.
I thought it was insane that he was monologuing in front of the character that he had fucked over. Like he was telling Kylo Ren, "You're a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, a little much.
I manipulated you." And what's his end game at that point?
Yeah.
Is he gonna go back? Like, is he gonna turn Rey and then kill Kylo?
He wanted to kill Rey, and he wanted to kill. He wanted Kylo to kill Rey to fulfill his.
But then the way he was doing it, like there was a 50-50 chance that he was going to kill him.
Your overconfidence is your. Well, I guess it was the opposite. It's Luke. It's like your overconfidence is your
downfall.
Is your weakness.
Is your weakness? Yeah.
In general, I just want to add.
Sure.
Love the look of the throne room.
Oh,
like the solid red. Love the production design throughout the movie in general. All looks great. Of course, fucking Star Wars again. We're just diving into because we're such big fans and all these things, but. I mean, in general, it just looked amazing, and I like that. There's a similarity. It's very Return of the Jedi, that scene, but it came in the second movie. The conversation between her and Kylo Ren is the same conversation they have on the bridge in Endor, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then when she makes Rey look out the window, which I thought was great because in Return of the Jedi, it's just right there. You can see the battle happening, and in this, there's like that fucking giant like makeup type of like mirror thing.
Oh yeah,
magnifying glass type of thing used forward. And then the curtains, or there were like red curtains or something.
Big old red curtains,
opened up. Like I thought that was great. And of course, really the lightsaber battle itself when they're fighting the Midget.
Oh, and I loved it when it burned down.
Oh, the fire in the background.
Burned down.
Yes, that looked great.
That was amazing.
And that whole lightsaber battle was fun.
Hell yeah,
that was awesome. I was digging it.
There wasn't a lightsaber to lightsaber battle.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Listen, I know you want to change some things up. You want to be different. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's only. If you would have asked me, what is the only thing that matters? Literally the only thing. You know what's more important? More important than a space battle. More important than even being in fucking space. Besides the opening crawl in a Star Wars movie, is a goddamn lightsaber battle.
Yes.
And I gotta be honest. I don't. Ryan Johnson, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, props to you making the movie, and props to you for somehow making a movie with that. I don't know how, as a fan, that you fulfilled yourself. I feel like and shooting a lightsaber battle that way, like it was cool, but like, come on, man. And I was excited when I saw it because I was like, no way, we're getting this and a dope third act lightsaber battle. Woo! And I was like shaky first act, but if that is the fucking, if there's two lightsaber battles and they're both this good, then I'm into it. And then there was like no lightsaber battle later. And in fact, there was slow mo, Matrixy Luke shit. And I don't like. And again, solid point. I'm not a big fan of slow mo. You know that. Continually, not a fan. And just visually, their standoff, like the wide shots, maybe was the weakest looking stuff.
You know what was interesting? I agree. And they've talked about this in the three different trilogies, is that there's always a different feeling of or style of fighting. There's always a different style of fighting, such as the in the original trilogy, it was very old knights, fighting back and forth, just parry, dodge, parry. Then there is the prequels, where it's very dance-like, where you look at Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. They're like flipping and and force pushing and stuff like that. So there's that that whole thing, and then there is then in this there's a very raw feel of like just hacking and slashing because Kylo is crazy and Rey is inexperienced.
So powerful.
Well,
she can't contain her experience.
All her experience is with a bow staff. And so when she's fighting with this, I wanted that, and that's the shame of the fact that we didn't get to see another fight between them. And then that we didn't get to see the comparison of the raw fighting style with an actual Luke. Because he would have had sort of that, the fact that he Matrix slid underneath that thing it took me out so much.
I hate it. The Luke thing in general, and talking about the pushing of the Force knowledge for me.
Sure.
And if it doesn't bother you, good for you. That's fine. I'm happy. I wish you didn't. I would pay I'm broke. And I would pay. I'm in debt, and I would give $500 right now to somebody to make me give this movie an A. I want to love this movie.
You can give me $500. I'll take give it an A.
I can give you more than $500.
Yeah.
But it just felt to me like they just jumped the shark for me. So like, and you want to talk about any movie? So Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
I love the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy.
Yeah.
I love the first movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Say what you will, I don't care. I love Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
No, I love it too.
I even love Pirates of the Caribbean 3. There's a couple moments, and the first one's fine, but a couple moments in 2 and 3. 4 and 5 way too much, but those don't count. Those aren't Gore Verbinski, the man.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
But 2 and 3 have these a couple moments that I buy into now. The more I see it, you accept stuff.
Yes.
But like that push the line.
Well, it flows all together as one big movie now.
Exactly. Yeah. I believe that they can fight a Kraken. I believe in octopus people. I believe that there's Davy Jones' locker. I believe that they can fly. They can do ships on sand even in the dream. I can believe they can go on the ice. I believe they can rock a boat upside down water. But for some reason, I just can't buy like the shish kebab gag.
Where he's bouncing down the
I just don't buy that.
That was my least favorite part of that whole thing.
But it's so for me, it felt like
too cartoonish.
There was like that for me in this movie a couple times.
Yes.
So like when Luke's jumping, I mean maybe it's not as cartoonish, but I get the same emotional reaction. But BB8 is that cartoonish, and I'm sorry, it's worse than anything R2 does in the prequels. R2 flies, puts some oil, and burns some robots.
Sure,
that's nothing compared to BB8 controlling a fucking ATST. That's what the fuck is that?
Chicken Walker. I was like, when I saw that, I was
like angry.
I was like, oh my god, DJ came back and was, he's like, hey, regardless of who pays me, I'm a rebel at heart. Something like that. Like, I know that would have been ridiculous
just
to say.
Anything. I mean, I like that DJ was a gray character and he says
fine.
That's
absolutely,
cool, but not fucking BB8. That was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
And also, I want to ask,
hated it. And then them writing on it after, all three of them, and that like,
but also, the entire top of it had been blown off.
I don't know. I think it hit a part of the ship. The ships are big, so I don't know. We'll talk about that soon.
But also, what was the use of bringing back Phasma?
Thank you. This is my biggest thing.
What? And why not ever take her? There are so many people, so many characters in this that did not get a decent... For a 2.5 hour movie, nobody got expanded character-wise. Nobody got like a deep, great... like only a few people got a few deep conversations that really felt like it was something serious and something real to push along, to demonstrate whatever is in their heart. I didn't know why anybody was there.
See,
it was all so... surface.
People want to talk about fan service. Oh, you just don't want your fan service. Okay, you want to know what is fan service?
What's that?
Phasma being back. That's the most fan service thing I've ever fucking seen.
She could have been blown up on the fucking...
She should have been. She should have died in the last one. She should have been blown up. That's fine. They want to bring her back. It was like, oh, they're bringing her back. So something. Oh, you're gonna bring her back, make her do something. And I've always been like, why are they bringing her back?
Yeah.
Okay. You bring a character back who should have died in the last movie, who we saw died, and then you bring her back to have her do less.
Yeah.
To have her do nothing.
2 scenes.
And not only that, to do the exact thing that fans bitched about. The only thing, looking back, Force Awakens didn't have that many, too many fan plays. But one thing we were like, oh, the Phasma was kind of lame. We should bring her back. And why doesn't Finn fight her? Finn fights the random stormtrooper.
Sure.
Everyone said that should have been Phasma.
Right, yes.
That was a big thing everyone kept saying.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay. Like, Rian Johnson writes this crazy, innovative, creative Star Wars script that feels like he came up with everything himself. And then it almost feels like someone story was like, you gotta add Phasma in there because we need to keep selling those toys.
The toys,
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
And it's like a movie. You shouldn't say that because it does feel it's original, it's its own thing. But like, that specific reason alone did totally just feel so forced, so pointless.
My biggest thing is she's sort of like a field general.
Yeah,
it seems, rather than being somebody on the bridge.
Yeah,
right. I wanted there to be some sort of connection between her and Hux and Kylo Ren, maybe, so that we could have a little bit of a development of the fact that they actually have. And
they have a scene together in Force Awakens.
Yes, they do. Yeah. But why do we never see her without her helmet on? Sure,
that's actually everybody else. Supposedly in the book, it's a big care thing. That's seeing her eye. Oh. To people who have read Catalyst, I don't know what book it was.
Gotcha.
But it's like a big thing. Like it's like emotional. Like, oh, if I read the book, that moment hits you because it's like a big feeling. It's like if you've read the book, you know how much it means. She has to cover her face. She can't show her face.
That's a shitty way of doing things, and I hate the extended universes of things in it where you have to have read the comic or you have to have read the book to understand
enhance your experience.
Exactly.
It shouldn't change it,
but it shouldn't detract from it because I don't know certain plot points of a bunch of different things. It certain times, if that's true, it made the movie feel flat to me. If or like I'm longing for something, I'm wanting for something else, because where is it going otherwise?
Yeah.
Why do we have two scenes of her just being in there and then she gets her you can see her eye, but you've never seen her, you barely hear her voice.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? And
it was a lame short fight,
brought back and thrown away. Like, she's died twice now.
No, that's what it is. It's literally brought back to the same fucking thing. It was pointless.
And even more, she didn't even fight that much in the first one.
No.
And then
that's
she
why
got
they
like
brought it back.
locked into how did anybody on the Starkiller base survive?
They got off in time when they have ships.
Whatever. Where are we?
All over the place. But here's another. This is a side thing. Again, if it's an A, it wouldn't really bother me. But something that I wish we wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And now I didn't really notice it or bother me till this one. But this is when it started to feel super redundant.
All right.
This is the third movie in a row where we got to sneak into an Imperial or a base. It's like we did it in three years in a row, nonetheless. It's like The Force Awakens, we had to sneak into Starkiller base.
Yeah.
Rogue One, we got to sneak into Scarif. This movie, we got to sneak onto Snoke's thing. It's like, oh fucking okay. Every movie we got to dress up in someone else's clothes.
Where's the imagination of changing up the solution? Let's be an inventive, scrappy rebellion. Figure something else out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's very hard because you do have to get into the bad guy's base. It's not like you can go through a moat. It's not on the world.
But I would have been liked if they could have done a plot that didn't somehow just found one that didn't involve that. You know
what would be fascinating is I know that it's Star Wars, so there has to be in space a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I have got to say one of the most amazing points in this movie was when
Empire Strikes. I mean, actually, Return of the Jedi is barely in space.
That's true.
Except for the
That's
ending.
very true.
But the ending's dope.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that wouldn't it be nice to be on a planet a little bit more with some more battles centered on the planet? Why couldn't Crait have been half this movie rather than the last 15 minutes? But I was going to say, one of the most amazing shots in this whole movie, or one of the most like breathtaking events, was when Laura Dern's, I still haven't learned her...
Holdo,
was when she warp speeded into the Dreadnought.
Always thought about doing that. It wasn't a Dreadnought, it was the Snoke's ship.
Snoke's ship, sorry, yeah.
It's like, it's in Star Wars, there's the Imperial cruisers, and then I forget the exact name of it. There's like the Emperor ship. Not the Emperor ship.
Oh, that's right. They blew up the Dreadnought.
It's the Vader ship. The Vader one with the blue. It's like that version of that. And, I feel bad we've been jumping around more than usual, but Star Wars, so much to talk about, man. Laura Dern, obviously, I want to do some more praising of this movie. I do feel bad. Like, there's so much to still enjoy about this movie. I had the biggest smile on my face watching it. Still, it's fucking Star Wars. It's back. I wanted to cry. I cried a couple moments.
I was talking to a stranger next to me. He was like, "Isn't this going to be great?" I was like, "Yeah."
The other day, I went to the fucking grocery store and like someone's checking me out. There's like this guy, probably my age, 24, 25, checking out. I see him all the time. I've never said anything to him. He just checks me out at the grocery store, or he's like, working checking bags or whatever.
Sure.
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. It was like yesterday. Nice. All of a sudden, he looks up and he's like,
"You seen it?"
Yeah, he's like, "So what'd you think?" And I was like, "What'd you think?" So
I love it.
It's Star Wars, bringing people together, man.
Yes.
But Laura Dern,
yes.
My two favorite movies of all time. Actually, I'll say my three favorite movies. My favorite movies are Jurassic Park, and my second favorite movie is Empire Strikes Back.
Sure.
And my third favorite movie is Jaws.
Okay.
I do, however, think that Empire Strikes Back is better than Jurassic Park as a movie. I will say.
All right.
Personally.
Yeah.
I think Empire Strikes Back is the best blockbuster. I mean, Jurassic Park's my favorite movie, though.
Sure.
It's 1 and 2. I'm picking children here. It's like, yes, this kid's funnier, but
where does Sophie's Choice fall in that list then?
If I could only have one movie the rest of my life, it'd be Jurassic Park.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
no, I get you.
But if there was 3 movies,
so it'd be that and those
3 movies. I might just have to take the OT and call it a day.
Perfect.
Woo woo. Not really. Maybe.
You are not Meryl Streep. Just kidding.
But Holdo, Laura Dern, come on, Jurassic Park, come on. So
oh my God, so many things.
But But I'm just so happy that she's in this. She had a great role.
Yeah,
I love the way her character played out. A couple of things confused about. Why a lot of things like why wouldn't you, if that was your plan? It seemed like a plan you could have told the people.
It seemed like she had told other people.
Yeah.
But not Poe.
He was trying to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, but that's a horrible time to be teaching a lesson. Like, yeah, he comes back, he did a crazy thing. Well, they are in crisis right now. Rather than being like,
it's 2 sentences.
Go to your corner, I have a plan. Yeah. Then he can be like, I don't trust you. And she was like, Leia does. Whoa! That right there.
Leia did,
then you don't have the mutiny, but then you don't have the reason for the mutiny. There's no that padded it for like 15 minutes.
The only way the mutiny would have worked was, and this is another thing, if she would have lived. Now, that was the best moment in the movie. That culmination of the intercutting between those 3 storylines meeting Snoke, the crash, Finn and them.
Well, and there's that the feeling of oh my God, they're gonna break in. No, they are gonna succeed. No, it did intercut quite well.
Which is what Star Wars. That's when Star Wars is working on all cylinders. Usually when it's intercutting well.
Agreed.
And it was fire in there.
And you haven't seen a mutiny before.
No,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
and I get why. I'm not saying but if she lives and somehow Leia is the one to stay behind for some reason, because it almost makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's her understudy, and in general we need to pass along to new generations.
Right.
Laura, and also would have been how interesting would have been in 9
just to
kill her. Yeah. Everyone introduced her, they felt like they just kill him.
Yeah.
It's like in 9, how interesting would it have been if Poe is like a rising leader, maybe leader into her, and she's now in charge.
And then they have an uneasy,
thing, but it's also like a weird respecting. They're learning to each other because you could grow. The next movie could be about them learning to respect each other.
Sure.
Because like Poe learned his lesson by learning that she was right.
That's right.
It could have worked.
Yeah.
But also, I get why she did, because Poe, seeing that, realizes he was wrong. I guess he needed to see her die.
Yeah.
Or something. But it would have been interesting to see their dynamic play on.
No, I want it. I mean,
because she says she likes him.
Wouldn't she be a great?
She would have been a great character to have in the next one. I thought like a Mon Mothma in the 3rd movie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, that felt wasted.
But visually, that was awesome. Let's be real. When she launched it there, I was hoping they were going to do that. Because I've always thought about that. Like, hyperspace into something. And then the silence, the no sound.
Yeah. But does that mean that they can do that with any...
Yeah, that's why they have to do calculations. Because they don't want to hit something.
But then, is there... Why don't they kamikaze into people?
You have to make sure everyone's off.
A big sacrifice. A big start.
There was only 400 people left. You can assume that's a Titanic. That thing holds thousands. So in almost no situation would you be able to.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So it was dope.
It was great. It was beautiful, and the silence,
the music, the silence, everything's. And again, we've talked about before. I wanted to say this now.
And I liked that it didn't destroy the ship enough.
Yes.
That they could still be fighting on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of interesting because that is the logic behind it. It blows part of it off, and there must be doors that close down in that.
If you ran through part of the Titanic, it still took 2 hours to sink. And even if you cut it more, it takes 30 minutes or 20 minutes. I mean, you still have enough time to finish your battle.
Exactly. If you weren't in that wing.
Yeah. But I just want to talk more about John Williams. Just really simple. Just because I just want to give the due respect to the man.
Of course.
The best composer that ever lived.
Yeah.
Star Wars soundtracks are amazing. I absolutely think the Force Awakens soundtrack is amazing. There's 6 memorable themes. He brings quite a bit of them back in this one.
Very much so.
I was slightly surprised. I felt like there was I only caught 2 new themes in this one. I've only seen it twice, listened to the credits.
Sure.
And I only noticed like 2 new themes because the one theme that people I think is new is an extension of just the Rebel theme from the Return of Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi.
Gotcha.
I think they're just that they didn't use often that they're bringing back.
Oh.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
But Rose has a theme, but I didn't think it was maybe, and this is maybe again the pacing and flow of the movie.
Yeah,
it didn't feel it was organically laid. Maybe because the whole thing is a go, so there were some tonal switches in the music that I felt seemed a little quicker and faster. I guess that's the whole thing than normal. And there wasn't a moment that sold me like made me fall in love like Rey. When you saw Rey, but that's also the movie when you see Rey's music come in, you know who she is right away. And I do like Finn's theme or Rose's theme quite a bit. Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran was so underused in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, she is just taken along on that ride on the planet.
Hoping I meet her someday because
she's great.
Fun fact:
she
was known for this. She got started in this web series, right?
Okay.
And she's good friends with the person who was in that web series, and the person in that web series who her good friend is the girl in my movie.
No way.
One of the girls in my movie.
Oh my God!
Christina.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, she's Christina's friend.
Wow.
So my crossman like one day.
That's pretty cool.
One day. But no, she was great, and she had the great Star Warsian.
Oh, and the costume.
Yeah.
And the attitude.
Just the way she says, like, and Rose said, "Never look back." Like, or not Rose,
Paige.
But just the way she says it and her the pacing, or what do you call it? The beatage of her voice, or
I don't know. The cadence.
The cadence she was delivering is that classic Star Wars cadence that you buy. Like the right Star Wars cheese.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but you need the right type of cheese.
Absolutely.
And
she had that energy.
Yeah, I was quite a fan.
She almost, I mean, it's impossible for a person in these movies now to not be a fan or have experienced the insanity that is Star Wars.
She had never seen a Star Wars movie.
Are you kidding me?
Never one until she got cast.
She seemed like the biggest fan, honestly.
She got cast and watched them all. But this is why she felt like a big fan, because she hasn't really been in a movie before.
Well, okay.
But she's also but she also loves. She's a Harry Potter fan. That's her thing.
Okay.
She's obsessed with Harry Potter, knows all about. So she wanted to be in Fantastic Beasts.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I'm just kidding. I made that up. But this is better. Trust me, Kelly. You'd rather be in this than Fantastic Beasts. So she's part
of a fandom, and now she is.
It was so
the
sweet.
subject of a fandom.
Did you watch the red carpet by any chance?
I didn't.
I watched the red carpet, and she was bawling in the cutest way, and I loved it. It made me like her so much more. Like I was almost starting to cry watching the YouTube video. It was like the sweetest thing ever. It was like the tears of happiness and overcoming, and I was like, damn, like that girl's like. Her life is. That's a weird thing to go through, like, because she never made a movie before. She gets tired of this movie. Yeah, you're filming. It's huge, but like,
she's Carrie
until
Fisher
that night
in '77.
Like, it's like without famous parents.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true. That's very true. Did you hear that John Boyega didn't make it to
no,
the
he
premiere?
made it to the premiere.
Oh, he did?
He was worried he wasn't. He got a last-minute flight.
He was snowed in. I didn't hear the end of that. I was just...
No, he barely made it.
Oh, my God.
But it was funny because Ryan Johnson was tweeting him like, get here!
Oh, my God. Changing in the taxi.
I want to say also, we talk about love. Unfortunately, this is probably, as of right now, my least favorite Ryan Johnson movie.
Okay,
but
I agree.
I love Ryan Johnson. Yeah. And I just want to say, we talk about Bag of Things. It does no way take away from how much I respect the filmmaking, how much I respect the filmmakers, how much I would want to work for all of them, how much I would praise all of them, and as long as I'm talking about the negatives, I got to be honest. I could do a podcast and I could talk for 3 hours about all the positives and everything I love and every detail and every shot.
Absolutely.
But we're going over the broad strokes and we just saw
fair. I think we are trying to take it all in and analyze it.
That's what we're doing.
It is an unwieldy beast to shoot a movie,
Yes.
And just a terrestrial movie. Not a space movie, and
not a Star Wars movie, the biggest movie you can make. There's nothing bigger.
With all of the history, how do you balance it? How do you figure out where you're trying to put your energy?
And it's
seeing all of it come together in a fairly pleasing movie.
Yeah.
Not a disappointing movie in like it's an F movie or a D movie. Like it's an accomplishment regardless.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars movie. It's complete.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, no, you should be proud of yourself. I mean, he said something great, which is, you know what, you can never win no matter what. It's Star Wars. You're always gonna find a little piece of people complaining.
Yeah.
And Ryan John's got some hate on Twitter, of course. But like he said, he goes, listen, I got 80 to 90% of what I'm getting is positive.
Yeah.
And that's what you expect. Like, let's be real. You don't go into a movie like this directing it no matter what you do, there's going to be people complaining and talking about it.
People have shit on the prequels for years.
But guess what? You're making a Star Wars movie. You're the fucking coolest motherfucker in the world
there
right
are lightsabers in the movie.
Yes. I mean, come on, dude. You're awesome.
Well, I got to say that it's... Well, the problem is that you've got such insane anticipation, right? First of all. Then there's the problem that everyone builds up, and I think it's a problem from the trailers and stuff like that people have this expectation, and they build up the story or the potential stories.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fall in line with those beats, or if it's not 100% satisfying, they see it as a loss.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh, that's interesting that's the way they took it. They say, wait, what? And I'm guilty of this too. I honestly thought that either Rey or Luke were going to turn out bad. Like, there was such fan theories that stuff was going to turn out like that. And then when it turns out in not a half measure where they went halfway there and then came back. But it's just when you don't make drastic decisions like that, like killing Laura Dern, that's drastic.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But then you don't go, you see an inkling of something and then you pull back from it.
Yeah,
I think that can disappoint hardcore fans or people who, if you're trying to reinvent the whole thing, because I think there was an attempt to reinvent. From that position that Ryan was at.
Also, he just felt like, I'm really confused. Like, the beginning, like, you want to go, why did they go for the Dreadnought? And why would he do that? Because I felt too much in his character. He's felt too broy and too gun-soft, because if the resistance was bigger, I would have bought it. Because even in the Star Wars, I got a sense that, like, it was like, I didn't think that was every ship they had in the Battle of Yavin. Like, there was maybe other planets or something, or and it's an empire, and I guess it's growing, but it's a decent size.
Sure.
In this movie, I get there on the run, but I was like, wow, if after that battle, you only have 400 people left.
Yeah.
If that was, I don't understand why you would use 7. Like, it's not, killing that is not worth 7 of your 8 bombers. If you only have 8 bombers,
right?
Like, maybe they have a lot more in the ship.
But why
if they only have 8, 7's not worth it.
Why are you making that attempt?
And why did they listen to him? Because it's like Leia was there. It's not like they were so far away they couldn't communicate.
Right.
It was like Leia's there, and he's like, "Let's go in, guys." And then the pilots listen to Poe, not Leia. So I assume they can hear Poe, but not Leia. Right. But then Poe can hear Leia, so it's like,
I don't know. One of the things? Can you clear this up? Have they always been able to track the good guys through hyperspace?
No, that's a new thing. That's set up in Rogue One.
Is it?
I actually have always heard it, and I was like, oh, I've always passed Leia. But then some posting on Twitter, I saw the photo. I was like, oh yeah. When they're looking for the file, Stardust.
Okay.
There's like, she's like da 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 da. Sure. Hyperspace tracking.
What?
So they kind of slowly.
So it's
a
new thing
again. But here's my thing. I'm fine with that, and the hyperspace didn't bother me.
Okay.
But again, it's just so many new things. It's like, we're putting time. Now we're putting hyperspace tracking.
So does that now take, like, that's a whole new complication that the good guys have to...
So now we're floating and shooting fire. And we're having floating lightsaber battles, but now we're tracking people through time anywhere. And not only that, now you don't even know where people are. It's fucking, this is my problem with the loop thing at the end. It's, what if at the end of Avengers or end of any movie, you find out, this is what bothered me in Iron Man 3, like, he's not even in the suit. It's the same type of thing. It's like, you can't save the day and not be in the suit.
Right.
It's not really a sacrifice.
Right, exactly. It may be an emotional sacrifice or a mental sacrifice. I don't know. It was, I loved the interaction.
Yeah.
I loved Luke through most all of this.
Yeah, Mark Hamill is great in the movie,
right? I mean,
the best line I will say is when he says R2.
R2.
I was like, he's
such
so
a
perfect.
kid.
He sounds just
he's
like
right back to a kid.
Like,
oh my god! And I don't know why I have to make the declaration here, but best Joker ever.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
From the
You're
animated.
People. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. When he's talking to Kylo and like egging him on, I hated the concept why he was doing it. Letting them get away, and then there was no stakes to it and stuff like that. But his banter with him being like, basically paraphrasing Obi-Wan, being like, "Hey, if you kill me in anger, kid, I'm gonna be around." And then he calls him Ben, and see you around, kid.
Yeah,
love that.
Mark Hamill's great. My problem with the third act in general too is just the Rey shit. So it's Rey's movie, it's Rey's story, because they push Finn to the side. Finn is kind of like on a side mission. They make Poe a bigger character.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of confused because like I get it's not Luke disappears, which is fine if you're gonna have him be the savior in the third act, right? Yes. But you set up Luke's in throughout, half the movie, he's in a lot of it, and then he's gone for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He's completely gone. But you want him to come back 45 minutes even. You want him to come back be the final savior. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the issue with that is also going on in the third act, he's the final savior. He's saving not even our main character. Because our main character doesn't need saving, and our main character has nothing to do in the final battle. Like we said, first of all, why show up late? She shows up and she's in the bottom, and she shoots them, and she draws all TIE fighters away. Sure. They go through the cave, which I gotta be honest, before I complain about it, visually, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God. The red inside crystals. The cave crystal, the coolest shit ever.
Hell
the exact place I want to see the Millennium Falcon go
That was
to.
a cool
They
planet,
played the TIE fighter
actually.
music, the bum 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 bam 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 bam. It was great. So I was all into that, but it just, that's all you do with Rey, because then they're like flying, and it's like, oh, and now she moves the rocks. That's all she did.
Yeah.
And she just appears for long moments of time. Like, she leaves and then is gone for 25 minutes, and half the battle basically happens.
And then pops up, and then
pops
she's
up,
like, I'm gonna fight with her. Yeah.
And then it's like, then Luke is coming to save the day, but it didn't, I don't know. It just didn't all mesh as well to me together.
Well, and there was a lot of attempts at distraction, or
how many times do you distract somebody? It's like there'll be openings of distraction. Now he's distracting somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like... And to also draw the attention of the audience away, so that we don't question the fact that he just showed up. He looks younger. He has
dyed his beard.
He has the lightsaber that they just blew up.
Well,
they split in half.
Well,
there are, but
I guess that's what it is.
Fucking Frank Oz is back with essentially the puppet.
Yeah, I was thinking,
I loved
is it the puppet
that.
with a little CGI touch up on top of it?
I'm sure it is, and just to put the Force Ghost
thing around it,
and stuff like that, but.
It looked like the Empire Strikes Back Yoda, which is good.
And it felt like it too. Like you believe that's the prequel was a little bit more serious. He was spry, he was younger, stuff like that. There's 30 years in between. He's gotten a little nutty. He's been
they keep saying there's 30 years in between, but there's not. There's 19 or 17.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, the second one is 30. The second break is 30. I'm sorry. You're right. Yes. So the first break is like 18, 19. But he's been alone on Dagobah for so long that he's gone a little insane. Mm-hmm. And I loved them bringing back that personality. Yeah. Even though they had the character of Yoda, he was much different in this and much more consistent with what he was in Empire.
Love seeing Yoda. Glad we got some Yoda. Yoda Luke. I was expecting it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it.
And burning down the Jedi
again with the same thing of like more force pushing. Like didn't know that you could be dead and burn
light it up.
Like, cause now again it's more problems. So now there's no problem in death. Because now Force Ghost is like a way of like you never really die.
Death is
and
not the end.
You can interpret like a Force Ghost is talking to the inner spirit that person lived on. Sure. Like going outside, someone in your family passed away, and you connect to them, you like looking out the stars type of thing and thinking about them. It was almost like an extension of that.
Sure.
And now it's like, no, they could just fucking blow up.
They are semi-physical.
But supposedly, I looked for it a second time.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I forgot where, but Rey takes the books.
That's what I've been
Everyone
hearing.
keeps saying that, but I didn't notice it. I couldn't find it. But Rey has the books.
Is it on the Millennium Falcon?
So I guess there must have been a close-up or an insert.
Speaking of that, again, with the inconsistencies, what's with the dice. I hope other people have the problem with this.
Are there dice in the Star Wars?
So no. So he takes the gold hanging dice.
You can physically remember this is again pushing Force powers. Kylo felt the water.
Yeah.
So the idea is he can also physically teleport objects.
Okay, so
that's fucking stupid.
But
just saying that out loud is the stupidest thing I've ever said.
I know, right? But then they disappear.
Oh, so then they don't.
So then
she wasn't really feeling them.
But he was making her, because he kissed her on the forehead, and like people thought that he was there, and didn't he parry with his lightsaber?
I feel like they don't actually touch. Like you think they do, but I think he just dodges them. Like Keanu Reeves in Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah. That's so inconsistent, and it's frustrating to me.
There's just so many.
And I liked the movie. The Crystal Foxes. The
Foxes.
Vulptex. Vulptex. Because Vulpex, and I know this is nerdy, but that's from Pokemon.
That was what I was saying on purpose.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, the Vulpex.
Yeah,
the Vulptex.
Yeah,
is what they're the Crystal Foxes, and apparently from eating salt they became those crystal.
Crystallized.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Gareth Edwards, director of Rogue One cameo. The close-up where the guy says salt. The guy to the right of him, that's Gareth Edwards. So my whole thing is for the next movie, I'm confused with Kylo Ren. Like I just don't buy him as the big bad. That's the problem with Third Act 2 is like I don't buy them leading the First Order.
They seem like Muppet
Hux
babies
to a little bitch.
Yeah.
And now you've made a laughing stock, a butt of jokes. And now Kylo Ren's just kind of whiny. So for me, the only way, I mean, like Navy. I mean, my Lord J.J. Abrams will save me, hopefully. But I feel like you got to double down. I feel like you make him go. I think the next movie ends with him going Emperor status. He goes full bad.
Okay.
He wins.
No, I agree.
I think he should win the next movie.
I don't think he.
Then I'm sold.
If you are thrown into that power vacuum, you have to become crazy. You have to go full Emperor. You have to go. But that's the fascinating thing is he's nowhere near mature enough.
No, not at all.
To do that, and Hux isn't going to say, listen, I've got a little bit more experience than you. Let me guide you.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that because he's been reduced to a
walking.
He's
a joke.
He is Jerry Lewis to Dean Martin.
Yeah.
And Dean Martin is on a bender, on an angry bender. It's such a shame that they put there was a point. You probably saw it in your 2 viewings of it, where they both say the same order at the same time when they're on Crait.
Order of
they both say fire or something like that,
yeah.
And then Hux doesn't look at him. Kylo Ren looks at Hux, and I was like, "Who's the funny one now? Who's supposed to be the buffoon?" Because now he's looking at him like, hey, you better not be saying my word. You know, I don't know. I didn't like that dynamic at all, and I wanted him so much more from Hux.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that dude.
Yeah.
He's great.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah.
Something else I want to talk about, which I know people have already got mad at me too. I absolutely fucking hate the fucking Canto Bight kid and the Broom kid. I think it's the same kid. I think it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's not how a Star Wars movie should end. Because the Star Wars movies all have a perfect ending. Yeah. They're perfect, clean, it builds up. Dun, 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 perfect frame. Yeah. R2's in it, always wide or whatever.
Sure.
Fucking this shit was like an ending. It ended. It literally ended. It had an ending shot. And then it went to white. And the music built up. And my heart, both times I watch it, I get excited like it's the ending with the fist pump. Yeah. And then it goes, whoo. And then another scene comes in, kind of like a post-credit or a mid-credit scene would scene. It's like it feels like a mid-credit scene. Yep. But this put on the very back of it because you couldn't do that in Star Wars. But then it's weird because then it like builds up to where it should go, and then it goes, and then it like replays the Force again, and slowly builds up, and then goes out.
The energy that you've built up with the logical
fist pump ending that Star Wars always has.
We're still here. And this is all the people, because they say that, what is she say? We have everything to build a rebellion.
Yeah.
That's a great line to go out on. And then let's shoot out into the space.
Like kids fucking playing, which also I'm confused again. Timeline.
Nobody should know that.
So confused with the timeline. How do they know what's going on? What happened? Because at least what I got.
Yeah.
What I think it makes very clear is when he goes out and grabs the broom.
Yeah.
That is the Millennium Falcon going into hyperspace. He watches a ship go into hyperspace.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you just saw the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
They all got on there. They're about to take off.
Right.
And then it cuts these kids. They walk out and they see something take off in the hyperspace. I swear it's Millennium Falcon. But he's just telling a story about what happened. Or the next movie takes place months later. This is the biggest problem. He comes from the worst, most pointless scene in the movie.
Yeah.
On Canto Bight.
Yeah.
And then he comes from the worst, most pointless part of the Canto Bight sequence itself, which is freeing the fucking camel animals.
Yeah.
And then not only that, he says a stupid line like I didn't even notice. The second time he's like, "Go, go, go, yeah!"
Really?
He yells when they hop on and run away.
Ew.
He says like, "Yeah, go, go, go!"
I'm sorry, kid, but you're not gonna make it. And then
he grabs the broom, and it's like, what's the point? Because the next movie can't be with that kid.
No.
So what's the point? I mean, I get it's the idea that the rebel. That's like an ending to a trilogy more than it is the ending of a second movie.
Well, weirdly enough, yes, I saw it as, we rebel. You know, we spread. I rebel. We spread the rebellion across the planets, and
rebellions are built on hope.
Crush you. No, you see that and you say, okay, yes, they're spreading out. There is still hope. There's a younger gen. But then I saw it as like, hey, we're giving Star Wars to a new generation. This isn't for you anymore.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's what The
messaging.
Force Awakens did. The Force Awakens was handing off. That was the whole point.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
Reboot.
So it's not to another generation. It's to this new group of people. So why are you giving it to kids? Like, I don't understand what we're...
I mean, the idea that there's more people... I get it. More people have the Force. More people can use it. There used to be Jedi Academy, so there's obviously Force use everywhere. But, like...
Yeah.
Again, it's on top of a movie where you already showed me Luke do shit I don't buy.
What if
Leia
the
do
kid
shit
had
I don't
done,
buy. They all,
what if the kid had done something Force?
He did.
What?
That's what I'm so mad about. He used the Force.
What did he do?
He grabs the broom with the Force, AJ.
Oh, I must have blinked.
He is a Force user. That's what's even more awful.
I blinked, and that makes it really angering.
He like walks out and he just goes.
I thought he just
puts his hand out and the broom goes. Whoosh, to his hand.
I thought he just reached in and grabbed the broom.
No,
I was focused on his face or something.
He's a future Jedi.
Damn it!
And I gotta be honest, I was gonna give the movie. We were talking about. I don't want to fast forward to grades because we're gonna talk more about the movie still. But I know what grade you were maybe gonna give it.
Yeah.
You know what grade I gave it.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it the grade you were. I was on the fence. I was gonna give it the grade you gave it.
Yeah.
The whole and then that final moment happened when he grabbed it. That's when I lowered it. That's the moment I said, nope, I cannot in my heart do it.
Well, I honestly like the last 10 minutes of a movie. I swear, if I'm seeing a movie for the first time, and I am on the ride for the movie, it somehow in the back of my mind, I'm always like, just don't fuck it up for the next 10 minutes, and you've got me. You've laid it out perfectly for me, and this didn't necessarily, but it still had enough amazing moments in it that I was just like, yay, and yay, and yay, and then, wow. I can understand why that did you in.
It was the final.
No.
There was already the coffin was already nailed. There was one more spot left, but it was just enough for me to get my hand because the nails come through the coffin, so I can't lift up because it would hurt my hands.
Sure.
But there was one moment where I could still place my hand and just try to slowly loosen all the nails.
Yeah.
But right then and there, dig. I'm trapped.
Yeah.
0 way for me to get out. It's done.
The worm's crawling. Okay, so that's awful.
But
and
I mean, is there anything more we could talk about?
I can't. I mean,
CGI. Okay. Snoke CGI. That 5 o'clock shadow looks great.
Amazing.
It looked great.
Hair
CGI.
is getting so good.
We're getting good.
It's amazing, and I just Andy Serkis, man.
I wasn't sold on Snoke in The Force Awakens. Actually, I gotta be honest. Force Awakens. The first 48 minutes, I was like crying. I was like, "It's the greatest thing ever! I can't believe JJ did it. He did it. It's amazing." And then Snoke popped up on a hologram for like 10 seconds. I was like, I started looking around the theater. I was like, "No, there's not a giant.
There's not a giant.
JJ didn't just ruin my childhood with this giant fucking...
By the way, what kind of hubris makes you make a giant? There is literally no reason for communication because clearly Kylo Ren has seen him before.
Yeah.
It's not like intimidating or anything.
It's still intimidating. You gotta do it. Come on. Fucking...
I mean, it definitely intimidated Hux and whoever else.
But anyways, I was actually getting sold on... I mean, as like... I mean, I wasn't really bought on Snoke.
Okay,
but they were starting to sell me. When he was fucking with Rey and doing shit, I was like, this guy's a badass. And then they killed him right after I was sold.
Yeah, if he had been given way more to do, or at least just a little bit more to do. It
was weird. Going in the movie, too, I thought Crait was going to be the second act. I just thought because they were showing so much footage of it that they were not going to show the third act.
Then jump off from there.
But no, I was wrong.
No, that was, I agree.
I thought Canto Bight was going to be quick. I thought the whole thing was, I totally thought that opening plot was the first
I thought that was
minutes.
the opening as well.
35 minutes. I thought we're just going to get, I thought it was like, we're just getting away. We're going to, the beginning of this movie is like getting away from the...
Starts in the middle of a heist.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we didn't know it was a heist, but starting in the middle of an adventure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, I want to say Kelly Marie Tran, we talked about her, right?
Yeah.
That was a weird choice.
The kiss?
At the end. Well, not the kiss, but the idea of running him off the... Like, what is the end game there? You
just killed him just as much.
Yeah, your guys are sitting in front of a big... Like, let him sacrifice.
To be honest, that would have saved the day.
Yeah.
It actually would have.
It would have. And
you know, Poe learns, it's funny because Poe learns his lesson. That's the whole thing. Poe learns his lesson.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. No, okay, blowing up a dreadnought by losing your squad wasn't worth it. Killing one dude by saving the rebellion, which what Luke did, is better. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Finn dying is better than Luke dying.
Oh, yeah.
One of those things is better than the other for the future of
my God. Yes, exactly.
But,
but that was the weirdest thing. How did they
I wanted him to die, but...
How close to the front line were they at that point?
He was almost there.
How did they get back? How did he drag Rose back?
That's what's funny because Luke already goes out and then they're shown dragging him in.
Yeah.
So that means there had to be this point where they're like on the side
and they're
going around the soccer
like facing
field,
off of each other. He's just don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just
behind
keep,
you guys.
Just keep fighting. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And there's just this big long red path throughout the thing. Also, I didn't really notice it, but I've heard a bunch of people talk about it.
You don't see Luke?
Well, you don't see Luke's
I saw
foot.
a second time. I was looking for that, and you don't see it.
Super cool effect. I think that's a really cool attention to detail.
It is.
Good for them.
That it is. But can we talk the kiss? Not a fan.
Oh, it looked like brother and sister.
Well, that was the thing. The
not
relationship.
Not necessarily.
I was getting that she looked up to him, but I didn't fully buy the romance thing. They weren't selling that. Even Finn's reaction almost looks like, "Oh, I'm sorry you think that way."
Yes, exactly.
And
I was like,
a little awkward.
Oh, that's fangirl meeting somebody who doesn't don't meet your heroes.
It was so framed perfectly too for a kiss that I almost was like, it's framed like a kiss, but then it's a weird like peck thing.
Well, and
she should have just kissed him on the cheek. And not said love. She says love. You've known him for 16 hours, 18 hours.
Right.
18 hours. So
I just thought, why are you forcing that story in, and why make it that awkward? There was literally she never. Okay,
there's no hints at it.
There was no hints on either side, I don't think.
I mean,
there
at
was
first she seems flirty and fangirly, so of course, like,
oh
my God, but nothing past.
But nothing past that, and then there's no point at where they're like, well, if it's gonna end, it's gonna end. Let's hug or something like that.
And it was
there's
just
never anything shared. You know, just like with the.
Well, they shared the moment on Canto Bight at the end before
they thought that they were gonna die, and then whatever. But stupid. Never was there. It's as unearned as the Lois Lane kiss in Man of Steel.
Yeah,
I think.
Unearned moment.
Yeah, weird and jarring moment. I don't know where they're gonna take it. And this is the weirdest thing about commenting on a story that's not done.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen, like you said, the original trilogy hundreds of times.
Yeah.
We can dissect that and say that it is a well-rounded arc. Each movie is a well-rounded arc, and it finishes off very satisfyingly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are in the middle of something right now that is hard to say if there's going to be answers, if there's going to be payoffs, and so we're just sitting in this. It feels like maybe they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine what it was like when Empire Strikes Back came out. I'm sure people had very similar reactions when it came out. I'm sure there was quite a bit of people back in the day who were like super fans of Star Wars who were like, I don't know.
Yes, exactly. I do. Another thing, I'm fine with Rey not being anyone's lineage.
I didn't think she was ever.
Maybe she is, but the first movie insists upon it.
I didn't think so.
It gives you the it shows you the parents, and I know that it's an internal struggle rather than us, but it shows us that we should be curious about it too. And I guess, if you were told that, maybe it's actually brilliant in the way that you think that it's going to have a thing, just as she does. Just as she thinks that it's going to be some unlocking of a key in her life. The disappointment that we feel as fans that she doesn't have any special lineage.
Yeah. I had no disappointment. I don't know. I didn't think she ever had a lineage. I really didn't. I know people thought that 5 were talking about Force Awakens.
I wasn't that invested in it either, but I was just like,
I always assumed it was kind of a nobody.
It's interesting.
Thing.
Yeah.
It didn't.
I mean, there was the fact that they mentioned it in this means that they were thinking about it. So that's all.
I also want to talk about the moment that I actually legit cried at this moment. I shouldn't. It's a small moment. I can't believe I cried, but it shows that I am a nostalgia bait horror, I guess, because of what made me cry.
What's that?
When the R2 Luke scene. I told you we already talked about it. He goes, R2. I was so excited seeing him get out. Luke and the Millennium Falcon. The way he's acting was perfect. I was getting warmed up. And I liked the question. He's like, there's nothing you could do to get me off of this. And I instantly, when he said that, I instantly was like, well, when someone says that, how the fuck are they going to get him off it? I hate when people, there's always some bull, like Alan Grant, Jurassic Park 3. There is nothing on God or what's it called that could ever get me on the island again. How about a check for $50,000? Oh, all right. I'll go fly over. You know what I'm saying? But like, so, and I was wondering, and then instantly, right when R2 puts that message on, it was like, yes, that's 100% make him go. But it was just such a deep moment of him taking it in and just remind, like, not even for me as a fan, but him as a character, understanding, like, looking back and going somewhere and just realizing where he is in his life now and where Rey is. And that's what bothered me about the story is, like, that's what Rey should be. Rey should be Luke on that adventure and that fun. But she seems... That's what I also heard a funny take. She's millennial the Jedi. I can do everything. I don't need any training.
Okay.
You know, like I'm the best.
Like a Mary Sue character a little bit.
I didn't think she was a Mary Sue in Force Awakens, and now I do.
Yeah.
And we'll see next time. If she gets her ass kicked and loses, that's what I'm saying.
There
Kylo has to win next time.
Logical progression in her. There's no reason for her to be this way. She had to be really tough on that planet to survive. Yeah. So the fact that she was able to do things in The Force Awakens actually makes sense. And the fact that she's sort of tapping into that's fine.
I don't understand also if this is the whole thing with the timeline thing. If this was 6 months later or a year later, I buy her saying this is the loneliest I've ever been.
Yeah.
How long has she been training for Luke? She's
Even
lonely
if she
there.
has been experimenting on that island for 6 months.
But if she's been there for a day or 2 days, she's like, it's the loneliest I've ever felt. Bitch, you had no friends. You just went on a whole adventure. You made a whole group of friends. Even though he died, you got the closest you ever had to a father. You had a best friend, Finn. You met Chewie. You met BB8. You got R2-D2 on your side. You should be happy as fuck.
Your life changed so much.
You have a fucking lightsaber.
Right?
You learn you have the Force, and you're bitching and complaining.
And you were sent on one of the most amazing, like the most important things. She was sent to bring hope back to the rebellion.
You're training to be a fucking Jedi. I'm so lonely. Boo-hoo. You're ungrateful. Millennial. You're right.
And the weirdest thing is...
You're not getting this job.
The balance...
I don't like Rey.
So, they had 3 people in the first one, in the first trilogy. Yeah. Why are they having such a hard time balancing 3 new people?
Because they have 3 separate... Like, in the original trilogy, their stories lied together, even if they were separated. Yeah. And their fates are always intertwined.
Sure.
And in this one, they're on different
and they're
paths,
adventuring together.
Still together.
Yeah.
Because even in Empire Strikes Back, they start together, second act separate, but they come together and their adventure ends up in the same location.
Well, and that's
they kind of do that here in the second act.
And I think that's a difficult part with Poe, because he is a pilot, but he's not a pilot with a ship that can have other people on it, so he's always going to be solo.
I wanted to see, I wanted to see, and again, this isn't bothering me because it's not story they went with. I don't care. Right. But it would have been cool to see Poe. I wanted Poe and Finn. I thought the storyline was Rey and Luke, Poe and Finn.
Because
and then you had Killing Me Trade that, but like,
Rey and Finn had their adventure together.
Yes.
And then the only part that Finn and Poe have in the beginning is the escape.
And it's so great. They have so much chemistry. That's
my
favorite part of The Force Awakens is that part.
Absolutely.
That music. Bam, bam, bam.
And that's
it's fucking epic,
at
dude.
that
That's
point,
Star Wars.
I love that kind of humor where you're like, oh my god, they're still attached.
Yeah,
it's situational humor,
like,
not forced.
Their name, Finn.
Oh, Finn. Yeah, I'll give you Finn.
That's funny too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but yeah.
And then like just them, like even the little moment when the jacket, they're like, "No, keep it. Looks good on you."
Keep it. Good.
I just love their chemistry together.
No,
and
I
so
agree.
Does the internet with all that gay porn.
Yeah. No, they're shipping them. That's what the millennials say.
Yeah.
Is they're shipping.
That's what it's called?
Shipping, relationshiping.
Oh, shipping.
Hey, I've taught another one.
Probably why I don't have a girlfriend. I don't know these terms.
Oh no. I learned this from the kids I teach at the Young Actors Theater Camp.
Yes.
That's a plug.
The little kids you hang out with all the time, maybe?
No, the ones I teach, sir. I've told you this. There is nothing torrid going on. All right.
Let's score this puppy up and rank them.
All right. We're going
to lose the 10 people we have when we
that's
You go first.
Okay.
You're nicer.
Listen. The little kid with the broom pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say there's enough amazing moments in this and enough amazing things in it that it didn't piss me off too much. So B-. Okay. I think I'm going to give it the lowest B-. It was going to get like a mid B-, because of the kid, but I'm not letting that threshold drop below that.
Still a thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh gosh. I mean, here's the thing. It's like I'm judging it, and it's on a Star Wars scale. So like, was I entertained for 2 hours?
Of course.
This is I am more invested in the Star Wars franchise and the Star Wars series than any other franchise.
Yeah.
And I care more about the lore. I know more about lore. I'm into it.
Sure.
And in doing so,
the
grade I give it does not necessarily the enjoyment I get. I mean, even if there's things that bother me, like if I was stuck on an island,
of course,
I wouldn't take every movie I give a higher grade than this over it. It's fucking Star Wars.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If tomorrow,
especially if you could only take one box set.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm judging it on a level compared to Star Wars. So it's on a Star Wars grading scale.
Yeah.
If Empire Strikes Back is an A+ to me, or this or that, how I look at things, and I'm going to have to, because it's almost, I have to give it a thumbs down.
Okay.
Because if I don't give this a thumbs down, then that means I'll never give a Star Wars movie a thumbs down, and then I wouldn't be a very good critic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still going to see this movie tons
of
times. I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm going to go see it 3-4 more times in theaters.
Totally.
Yell at me all you want. I got a movie pass now. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. I'm going to watch every special feature, watch the commentary. I'm going to watch it every single year, once a year.
It's got enjoyable parts to it. It's got an interesting story. I was
on the edge of my seat the whole time still.
Exactly.
Even with the pacing issues, even with the flaws, but I have to give it a thumbs down. So I'm gonna give it a C+.
Okay. Yeah.
So like a 78.
Sure.
So there's that.
That's not as harsh as other people have done.
Yeah.
No. I don't think it is. I think it's a very fair grade for this movie. It's not. It's weirdly unsatisfying in certain veins, and again, we were talking about it. It's an unruly beast.
Yeah.
Of a movie to make, and you're not going to satisfy you're not going to tick all the boxes, or you're just going to make a duplicate movie.
It's true.
You know.
And
so
I'm one of those people that force
the fact that
click my boxes. So.
Yeah, but the fact that he did some that Rian Johnson attempted some different stuff.
Yeah.
Good on him.
I give him that. He's got the balls.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did it. I mean, it's still a block. I mean, let's be real. If we just want to talk about, most of the time, I spend half the time complaining in blockbusters about, the cinematography, the visual, or just not quite feeling like a Star Wars movie or a Pirates movie or a Dark Knight.
Yes.
Well, this doesn't have that issue.
I
mean, it's maybe a hard thing to put on, but like, I honestly, I believe in my heart, every movie that costs $200 million should look this pretty. I do. I just really, I don't understand why not. Because at a certain point where it's like, they look this pretty. Why don't your movies look that pretty? You're spending that much money.
Thor, why did Norway look like that?
Right? Seriously, honestly, why the fuck is there a shot that bad in Thor Ragnarok?
I don't know.
So, that's an example. I give the Ragnarok a B-.
Yeah.
that's a Marvel movie. Marvel grading is different. Like,
yeah, it very
I like
much
Star
is.
Wars more.
It's almost like a soft pitch.
Yeah, it's a soft pitch, so like I give it a soft pitch grade, and I enjoy it for what it. But like, I will watch this movie more than Thor Ragnarok. I will watch this movie more than Justice League.
And you're more critical of it.
And I get more critical of it, but I get more, and I still technically get more enjoyment because the highs are still the highs.
Sure.
Hearing that John Williams score, just hearing some of those music cues, seeing that one planet, seeing. Oh, I didn't even finish the R2 thing. Sure. I cried.
Yeah,
I cried when I saw it.
No, I teared up at that.
I mean, it's like I get going. I mean, I am invested in it. I'm on the edge of my seat, but I have to give it a C+. And this is where I yelled too. And I'm coming around on the prequel, so this is where I'm gonna get a little shaky. It's like for sure, I definitely like all 3 of the original trilogy movies more, no doubt about it.
Of course.
I also like The Force Awakens more, and surprisingly, I definitely like Rogue One more as well.
Okay.
I also had to say I like Revenge of the Sith more also.
And we will talk to you later. Well, thank you, BB8. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, too.
Yes, and don't forget, if you liked us, give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
That's right. And down in the description, we have all of our links to our social accounts, so please follow us there. And now, we battle. Dude, that doesn't even have a blade. All right. Did you just see your best friend get killed? Yeah. Aww. Star Wars movie, the 8th in the saga and the 2nd in the sequel trilogy, The Last Jedi.